Okay, hello and good morning. Andrew Bournos here from Cloudaia. I'm the North America Director for Cloudaia here, based in Connecticut. And we have Brantley Pace from Hopin joining us today from sunny Colorado. How are you today, Brantley?
Morning, Andrew. I'm doing good.
Great, good to see you. Appreciate you sharing some time. So, Talking Out Cloud is an ongoing series we have with clients of ours where we talk about all things Salesforce, prominent people from the industry, how Salesforce is being used at their firm to drive innovation and business value out of the platform. With that, Brantley, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about Hopin, and we can get started.
Great. So I'm Brantley Pace. I'm one of the RevOps leads here at Hopin. I handle the tools, systems, and processes for our sales team. We have a global sales team spread all around the world. Our customers are global, and our sales stack and our go-to-market stack is all cloud-based, right? So most companies today and most users probably have lost the meaning of what cloud looks like because everything they interact with is cloud. But it only increases the importance of the word because everything needs to interact together. Everything now is practically cloud-based, and you need to make sure the tools and systems and the teams are aligned to that. So that's part of both the systems and the tools that I help integrate with, and then the teams that I help run. That's what we focus on.
Super. Can you tell us a little bit about your business? What does Hopin do and how?
Sure. So Hopin is a virtual events platform. So the easiest way I try to describe it is it's like Zoom, but for 1,000+ people. So if you only have a few dozen people, then a virtual meeting platform is probably going to be fine, like Google Meets or Zoom. But if you're looking at something that's a lot larger, you need to host internal events or external events or an event marketing campaign, then you're going to find that Hopin is going to be a little more advantageous to your need. And so this space really exploded during 2020, and Hopin was part of that. So we went through hyper growth. We scaled over 1,000 people in 2021 to help meet the demand of the market. And to do that, we had to find good partners to help build the infrastructure to support that team, support our customers, and support our sales team. And Cloudaia is one of those partners.
Excellent. That's exciting. What a growth curve you guys have been on. I'm sure hair on fire on all fronts. It's been an exciting opportunity to work with Hopin. Can you tell us, as we know, Salesforce has really evolved into an innovation platform, and certainly I think Hopin has known about Salesforce for quite some time. I think some of your folks come from Salesforce. So can you tell us a little bit about the decision around, why Salesforce and how you're using it?
Yeah, Salesforce is a strategic partner through and through for us. As I like to say, all roads lead to Salesforce for us as a CRM, but also a strategic partner. A lot of our key executives and a lot of our key hires have come from Salesforce. So it's not just the tool itself, but culturally, we've pulled a lot from that organization. And that just aligns to how much we put into the focus of building a strong Salesforce environment that is the source of truth for not just our sales team, but for the whole go-to-market organization. And so we don't view it just as simply as data entry, but it is the backbone to the data decisions that we make and to the sales process that we run.
Terrific. And how would you describe the overall business objectives and outcomes that Hopin was looking to achieve when you first started with Salesforce, and how that's emerged and evolved and perhaps gone from ABC to XYZ? I know things change over time. How has the original vision evolved as well on what Salesforce is to Hopin and what you want it to be in the future?
I think one of the things that makes Hopin unique culturally is that we are a remote first company. We have employees in 40 different countries. Now, a lot of companies over the last 2 years have gone either hybrid or fully remote, but they either have intentions to go back or still trying to figure it out. Hopin from the beginning started out with a remote first culture, and we've hired from that. What that means for systems and communication is our systems are more important than ever, because you can't just look to the person to your left and you can't look to the person to your right and gather that information. You've got to rely on Slack. You have to rely on your Salesforce environment. You have to rely on a lot of external tools that a lot of companies didn't have to do before. And so that means that data quality, that means that CRMs and the systems you interact with have more importance than ever. And so that was part of our strategy in the beginning, was to make sure there was a big foundation that we could scale onto. We had different tools when we first started, and we said, okay, what are the enterprise level solutions that we're going to need to scale into, and how do we build a bedrock that gives us a foundation that's not just reactive, but really creates a strategic roadmap that we can build upon. It's because so many systems integrate with the CRM. That's why Salesforce is so important, is because it is the starting point for both the data of a lot of other tools and the endpoint for some of the other ones. It really is the crossroads for dozens and dozens of tools.
Terrific. Well, we certainly have been so honored to be partnered with Hopin, and even more so in the fact that our partner Coastal Cloud also did some work for Hopin as well, and we worked together with that sort of trifecta of Cloudaia, Coastal Cloud, working for Hopin. Can you tell us a little bit about how that experience was in working together with a cross pollination of not just one platinum Salesforce consulting partner, but two?
You know, we really found that the certification process for Salesforce was important. There's a lot of people out there that are finding ways to make an impact in tech, and it's hard to distinguish, real talent and real organizational support for that talent. And so when you're looking for Salesforce support, hiring a Salesforce full-time developer can be expensive, it can be time-consuming, and you may not be able to commit to that resources for years to come. Right. And so that's why a lot of companies will use partners like Cloudaia, like Coastal Cloud, is to supplement their needs for, a short term, maybe a few months, maybe a year. And that's really where we saw the partnership. At the root of its need is our build plan was different than our maintain plan. Once we got up to scale, we said, okay, there's a different size of team, a different team structure we would need. And so that was the use of Cloudaia. And finding the partnership through a platinum certification for Cloudaia is really important to us. We looked globally for support. We're not just based in the US. As I mentioned earlier, we've got teammates all across the world. Even my full-time team are in 4 different continents, right? And so we can hire the best people in where they're located, and there's economic advantage to doing that the company should take advantage of. You don't have to hire somebody who's paying some of the highest cost of livings in the world. There are talent options there. They're really centralized, and if that's where your team is all located, then there's value. But when you expand beyond that, you can find really comparable talent anywhere. You don't have to pay the premium for that. And so that's what we found with the partnerships is finding the best people anywhere possible in the world and working with those teams, and Cloudaia as well.
Terrific. Well, it's been a great pleasure working with you and with Hopin. As you know, and for our audience, Cloudaia largely supports our clients around the world with Latin America-based resources, and the economies that we get in doing that have been a real value add. And when you think about the evolution of the project and the future of Salesforce at Hopin, what are some of the things you have in the hopper, as it were, at Hopin? and you think about, here's some of the next steps for us at Hopin when it comes to utilizing every last bit of the value of your investment in Salesforce.
I think one thing that most people don't know about Salesforce is that when it comes out of the box, it doesn't come custom to your organization. It's customizable, and you've got the option to build it however you want for the organizational needs. And then part of being a growth startup means our past is not our immediate future. We're always adapting to the market. We're always changing. We're bringing in new products. We're adjusting the team. We're always looking to what's ahead of us and deciding, okay, how do we want to tackle these challenges? And how we set up our Salesforce environment is going to be the bedrock to a lot of those decisions. How we handle accounts, how we support accounts, how we divide the sales team, how we handle leads, how we track opportunities, how we organizationally create quality control measures on the finance side and accounting side. So when we think about what's next for Hopin, that's all directly related to some of the strategic decisions that we're making ahead. So it's never one, out of the box, you're done, unless you're just a brand new startup or company without specific needs. And 2, you never really build to a point where you're completely done, which is kind of why we see these as 2 different phases for us. One was the build mode, which is get up to like cruise control.
Right.
And then there was maintain mode, where we still have to adjust altitude and make adjustments, but we're not building everything from scratch. And so now we spent the last year really building out our infrastructure. Now we can make the tweaks and changes that are necessary to account for the strategic decisions that are coming down. And so that's why maintaining a Salesforce team to make that reality happen is always important for a company that, that views their, the cloud systems like Salesforce is critical to that strategy.
Great. Well, we certainly appreciate you talking out cloud with us today, Brantley. If you had to think about, the other Brantley Paces of the world that are out there listening to this as we conclude, what sort of wins, learns, changes would you suggest that folks think about when they're thinking about working with perhaps us here at Cloud Gaia or even another partner? And would you recommend that they look at us, Cloud Gaia? What's your experience been like working with us?
I've had a chance to work with a number of different partnerships in different companies. So I would absolutely recommend Cloud Guide to anybody else who's looking for a partnership. There's a lot of advantages economically. The talent is on par with anywhere else you're going to find globally. And then if you're stateside, of course, there's values time zone wise where the team has been very accommodating to make sure that we're working with decision makers if they happen to be inside the world. Those are all three big wins why Cloud Guy is a great partner. And then if you're just considering why should you work with a partner at all, I think in today's environment, you have to be able to communicate asynchronously, which means you have to have data that's a source of truth for your team. So if you've got a team that's making data-backed decisions and you're doing it in a remote or asynchronous environment, you have to have a Salesforce or a CRM that is that source of truth for everybody. Otherwise, you're reading different manuals. Basically, you're making key decisions and you're not using the same data set. Or if you are using the same data set and it's wrong, that may even be worse.
Ouch, yeah.
And speed of movement is part of that, right? If it takes you 3 months to 6 months to get the same data that a team got in 24 hours, right? You compound that over the next 3 years. Which team evolved faster, right? And so this isn't just about, hey, we're going to dive into the CRM and do a whole bunch of stuff no one cares about. The reality is the faster you can make decisions and the better that data is, the better your company's going to be, in the next 1 to 2 years. And that starts with having a team that can build that infrastructure. So you can go out and hire Salesforce developers. If you've ever done it, you know how hard it is. Or you can work with a partner that can bring that infrastructure in place and get you to a point where it makes sense. And you can kind of rotate in and out full-time hires and partnerships. And that's what we've done.
Excellent. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking with you, Brantley, today. I really appreciate the opportunity to have gotten your insights on Salesforce, and it's been a pleasure working with you. We're looking forward to the future on Salesforce here at Hopin. Thanks a lot for the time, and for those of you that are tuning into our series, Cloud Out Loud, we really appreciate you here at Cloud Gaia. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode, and take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks, Brantley.